Speed is not what it used to be. It is no longer about loud noise or reckless acceleration but about refinement, control, and the feeling of connection between rider and machine. Every few years, a new machine arrives that challenges our understanding of what performance can feel like, not just how fast it can go. It is a test of balance, design, and human ambition, all focused on conquering that fine line between power and precision. Today, we are diving into one of those machines, a superbike that redefines the meaning of engineering obsession, a motorcycle that brings race-grade performance to real-world roads with an almost surgical touch. This is the story of the Honda CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024, the superbike that has been quietly reshaping America's performance landscape one rider at a time. Like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which bike you want us to break down next. The Honda CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 arrives with a reputation that precedes it. For years, the Fireblade name has stood as Honda's most refined expression of superbike engineering. But in 2024, it is more than just another update. It is a complete rethink of how a leader-class motorcycle should perform in an era obsessed with both technology and emotion. This model marks Honda's attempt to fuse MotoGP precision with real-world usability, and the result is a machine that feels alive under every ounce of throttle input. The CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP is not meant for the timid. It demands focus, patience, and a willingness to learn how to ride something designed to perform beyond most people's limits. At its core, the 999 cubic centimeters inline-4 engine is the heart of the Fireblade SP 2024, producing over 210 horsepower. It is a masterpiece of efficiency and balance. This is not just a high-revving power plant for straight-line bursts but an engine that delivers its force like a scalpel, not a hammer. Every movement of the wrist feels connected to something deeper, something mechanical yet intuitive. The combustion chamber design, valve timing, and lightweight titanium connecting rods all combine to create an engine that thrives on precision. It does not explode with torque at low revs. It builds momentum, almost inviting the rider to climb through the rev range like scaling a technical mountain face. But the engine is only half the story. The Fireblade SP's chassis is where Honda's discipline truly shines. The aluminum twin-spar frame has been re-engineered for stiffness in critical areas, giving the rider feedback at lean angles most riders will never experience on public roads. Add to that the fully electronic Aleen's Smart EC 3.0 suspension, which constantly adjusts damping in real time based on speed, throttle position, and lean angle, and the result is a superbike that can read the road better than most humans can. It feels telepathic, it feels alive. When the suspension compresses into a corner, it is as if the bike knows exactly what you intend before you move. Braking is equally surgical. Brembo Stylema calipers and massive 330mm discs deliver power that can halt the bike with 2 fingers, yet never feel abrupt. Combined with Honda's cornering ABS and rear lift control, the CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 allows aggressive deceleration without drama. It transforms braking into an art form. Every stop is smooth, every corner entry composed. Honda's engineers have somehow built a system that gives you both control and confidence, even when the world blurs past at triple-digit speeds. The aerodynamics are another defining feature. The Fireblade SP 2024 borrows heavily from Honda's RC213V MotoGP machine, complete with winglets that produce meaningful downforce. They are not cosmetic. They stabilize the front end during high-speed acceleration and corner exits. It is a sensation few riders expect until they feel it, a planted front wheel that makes the machine feel carved into the asphalt. This aerobalance transforms the Fireblade's personality. Where older superbikes might twitch or lift, this one digs in and drives forward with authority. Inside the cockpit, the TFT display becomes a nerve center of data and customization. Riders can configure throttle maps, traction control, wheelie control, engine braking, and even suspension presets. It is a digital ecosystem that mirrors a professional race setup, yet it is presented in a format that feels intuitive after a few rides. The CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 does not overwhelm the rider with complexity, it educates them. It is like having a personal race engineer built into the bike, constantly fine-tuning performance. All of this precision, however, comes with a price: accessibility. The Fireblade SP is not a motorcycle you simply hop on and master. Its brilliance demands effort, it rewards skill development. Some riders find it too clinical at first, mistaking its refinement for detachment. But the truth is the opposite. Once you learn its rhythm, it feels almost organic. You begin to sense the bike's feedback through every vibration and every weight shift. The machine starts to feel like an extension of your own reflexes. In America, where the motorcycle scene often celebrates raw torque and auditory theatrics, the Fireblade SP offers a different kind of appeal. It is not about intimidation, it is about perfection. It represents a cultural shift toward riders who value control as much as chaos, precision as much as passion. This bike does not ask for attention, it earns it, quietly, through its performance. And that brings us to the heart of why the Honda CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 matters. It stands as a kind of manifesto, a declaration that speed, when paired with discipline, can be both exhilarating and deeply human. Every gear shift, every braking zone, every throttle squeeze feels like a dialogue between person and machine. This is what separates it from competitors that focus solely on spectacle. The Fireblade SP is not loud about its power, it is confident in its silence. As more American riders discover its balance of art and engineering, the Fireblade SP is reshaping expectations for what a superbike can be in a world chasing digital excess. It proves that the analog feel of connection still matters, even in a landscape ruled by algorithms and screens. This machine is a reminder that mastery still counts. And that leads us to the next stage of the story: how Honda engineered that mastery from the inside out, transforming lessons from racing into the DNA of the 2024 Fireblade SP. The Honda CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 is not a product of coincidence, it is the culmination of decades of racing evolution and disciplined engineering. To understand how this motorcycle came to embody precision, we need to look at how Honda refined its approach to power delivery, chassis response, and electronic intelligence. The Fireblade has always been known for its balanced personality, but the 2024 version pushes that idea into new territory. It takes lessons from Honda's MotoGP experience and transforms them into technologies that ordinary riders can actually use. Honda's engineers started by rethinking the airflow dynamics around the entire motorcycle. They recognized that as speeds climb, aerodynamic balance becomes just as important as horsepower. On the Fireblade SP 2024, every curve, every vent, and every winglet exists for a reason. Airflow is channeled to create downforce on the front wheel while minimizing drag at high speeds. The goal was not just to make the bike faster in a straight line, but to make it predictable in every corner. When a rider hits 160 miles per hour, the Fireblade does not feel nervous, it feels planted, calm, and confident. That sensation of control comes from computational fluid dynamics models refined through thousands of digital simulations and wind tunnel tests. The engine's precision comes from the same philosophy. Instead of chasing the highest output at all costs, Honda sought efficiency and predictability. The CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 uses titanium intake valves and forged pistons designed to reduce reciprocating mass, allowing for smoother revs and less friction. The bore and stroke ratio were optimized for a wide power band, giving riders usable torque without compromising peak performance. Each component in the powertrain was designed with obsessive attention to tolerance. Honda's engineers even redesigned the oil pump to reduce cavitation under extreme lean angles. This level of detail shows how deeply they wanted to close the gap between race machines and street models. Electronics serve as the bridge between that mechanical perfection and human instinct. The Fireblade SP's 6-axis IMU constantly monitors the bike's orientation, adjusting traction control, engine braking, and power delivery with microsecond accuracy. It is invisible technology. You do not feel it working, but you feel the confidence it provides. The cornering traction control allows you to open the throttle earlier on exits. The launch control gives you seamless acceleration from a standstill without rear wheel slip. These systems are not about limiting the rider, they are about amplifying the rider's intent. It is a subtle but important distinction that defines the Fireblade SP's personality. The gearbox deserves its own spotlight. Honda equipped the Fireblade SP 2024 with a quick shifter that works flawlessly in both directions, allowing clutchless upshifts and downshifts under load. Each gear engages with satisfying precision, supported by the slipper clutch that prevents wheel hop during aggressive deceleration. The feeling is immediate and clean. It transforms every shift into a seamless flow of momentum. This transmission setup is what makes the Fireblade SP so addictive to ride. It eliminates the distractions, letting you focus entirely on the next corner, the next line, the next moment. Beyond its mechanics, the 2024 Fireblade SP represents a philosophical evolution for Honda. For decades, the brand has been known for reliability and restraint, but this model proves that those qualities can coexist with bold innovation. It is a motorcycle designed for riders who crave both control and connection, and that duality has struck a chord with enthusiasts across the United States. Many superbikes today try to impress through spectacle, but the Fireblade SP impresses through discipline. That is what makes it so fascinating. It is a superbike for thinkers, not just thrill seekers. Riders who have experienced it describe an almost meditative state during high-speed riding. It is not about chaos or aggression, it is about synchronizing with a machine that mirrors your inputs with uncanny precision. When the suspension compresses into a turn and the throttle feeds power on exit, there is no drama, no surprise, just flow. That is the essence of what Honda aimed to capture. The Fireblade SP is not a rebellion against its rivals, it is a refinement of what speed should feel like. Even the smallest elements contribute to that feeling. The riding position is aggressive yet ergonomically balanced. Handlebars, foot pegs, and seat height align to distribute weight perfectly over the chassis. The fuel tank shape allows the rider to grip securely with their knees during acceleration. The mirrors are aerodynamic and functional, not afterthoughts. Every visible screw, every surface finish, speaks to the level of craftsmanship that defines the Fireblade name. The Fireblade SP's digital brain also evolves with the rider. The ride modes, rain, sport, and track, are not gimmicks, they fundamentally change how the motorcycle behaves. Each mode reconfigures throttle sensitivity, suspension damping, and traction thresholds. Track mode, for instance, sharpens throttle response to the point where even minor inputs feel electrified. Rain mode softens everything, giving new riders the confidence to explore the machine's limits safely. The customization possibilities make this motorcycle adaptable to anyone willing to learn its language. This adaptability is key to its growing popularity in America. Riders in cities like Los Angeles, Austin, and Miami are discovering that the Fireblade SP's technology makes it just as usable on twisty roads as it is on the circuit. It bridges the gap between weekend warrior and serious racer. That versatility makes it stand out in a market crowded with extreme machines that often feel too specialized. The Fireblade SP gives you access to race-level performance without requiring race-level logistics. However, what truly sets it apart is the emotional reaction it inspires. There is something about the way it moves that feels intentional, deliberate, and deeply personal. The way the exhaust note changes tone as you pass 10,000 revolutions per minute, the subtle vibration through the handlebars, the instant response of the throttle, all these sensations combine into a single coherent experience. It is not the kind of thrill that fades after a week, it is the kind that grows stronger with every ride. Honda has built a machine that redefines engagement. It reminds riders that technology can enhance emotion rather than replace it. The 2024 CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP is more than a superbike, it is a case study in balance, between man and machine, speed and control, power and precision. And as we move forward, its influence on how performance motorcycles are built will become impossible to ignore. Next, we will explore how this influence is spreading beyond the racetrack and into the broader motorcycle community, how the Fireblade SP's philosophy is inspiring a new generation of riders to rethink what mastery and performance really mean. The Honda CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 has already begun influencing the culture of riding in the United States, not just through its mechanical excellence, but through the mindset it promotes. Across forums, track days, and local meetups, riders are talking about more than horsepower figures or top speeds. They are talking about feel, feedback, and the satisfaction of precision. That shift is significant. It suggests that the Fireblade SP is more than a motorcycle. It is a signal that the future of superbikes might value control over chaos. In the past, the American superbike scene often celebrated excess. Massive engines, wild power curves, and noise were considered marks of dominance. The Fireblade SP 2024 stands in contrast to that culture. It invites riders to refine their technique rather than overpower the machine. When a rider masters its electronic aids, suspension settings, and gear timing, they unlock performance that rivals anything on the track. Yet, it all feels composed. The Fireblade SP transforms competition into self-improvement. Every ride becomes a training session in precision. Dealerships across major cities are seeing a growing demographic for this kind of motorcycle. Younger riders, many of whom grew up around technology, are drawn to the CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP because it feels like an extension of their digital fluency. They appreciate its data-driven intelligence and how seamlessly it blends with traditional mechanics. They see it not as a throwback to analog purity, but as a new benchmark for how technology can serve human intuition. The Fireblade SP appeals to those who see performance as a form of craftsmanship. This trend is changing the perception of what a superbike owner looks like. It is no longer just the adrenaline chaser or the track-only veteran. It is also the engineer, the designer, the everyday commuter who values precision. For many of them, the 2024 Fireblade SP is the first motorcycle that makes sense emotionally and technically. They find satisfaction in its calm power delivery and its ability to handle both traffic and track with equal grace. It makes performance accessible without diluting the experience. The influence of the CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 also extends to rival manufacturers. Though unnamed, several competitors have been forced to re-examine their approach to electronics, aerodynamics, and rider ergonomics. The Fireblade's success proves that the market wants sophistication. Riders no longer accept outdated designs with excessive power but poor control. They expect their machines to think alongside them. The Fireblade SP's quiet dominance has made that expectation mainstream. There is also a cultural ripple effect. The American riding community has long been split between those who ride for spectacle and those who ride for connection. The Fireblade SP blurs that line. It gives spectacle to those who seek it on the track and connection to those who crave harmony on the road. This balance is reshaping how enthusiasts talk about riding. Suddenly, lap times matter less than corner smoothness, acceleration numbers matter less than consistency. The conversation has matured, and the Fireblade SP sits at the center of it. Riding schools have taken notice too. Several advanced training programs now use the Fireblade SP as an example of how technology can enhance rider feedback. Instructors highlight its predictable power delivery and sophisticated traction management as tools for learning, not just performance. The 2024 Fireblade SP is becoming a teaching platform for the next generation of riders who see mastery as the ultimate form of speed. But what does that mastery mean in real terms? It means the difference between forcing a bike through a corner and guiding it with precision. It means knowing exactly how much throttle to apply without second-guessing. It means trusting that every input will produce the result you expect. The Fireblade SP 2024 builds that trust faster than almost any motorcycle in its class. It does so through predictability, not surprise, through communication, not intimidation. That philosophy is what makes it unique in a world obsessed with spectacle. Beyond rider culture, the Fireblade SP's design language is starting to influence product design across Honda's lineup. Even non-superbike models are adopting its aerodynamic cues and electronic integration strategies. The lessons learned from the Fireblade SP's development are being distilled into more approachable machines. This creates a kind of trickle-down effect where high-end innovation benefits the everyday rider. The 2024 Fireblade SP is not just shaping perception, it is actively shaping the future of Honda engineering. The emotional connection riders form with this machine cannot be overstated. Many describe it as the first motorcycle that feels like it listens. It communicates without shouting, teaches without punishing, and rewards without overwhelming. It has redefined what people expect from performance machines in an age of digital dependency. Where others rely on spectacle, the Fireblade SP relies on substance. As this new philosophy spreads, it may lead to a renaissance in how Americans view superbikes. The obsession with raw aggression might fade, replaced by respect for balance and design. Riders are learning that control is not the opposite of excitement, it is the source of it. And that lesson, taught quietly by the Honda CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024, is transforming garages and minds across the country. Next, we will close our story by exploring what the Fireblade SP's legacy might look like in the years to come, how this machine could influence not only the future of Honda, but the entire landscape of performance motorcycling in America. The legacy of the Honda CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 will not be measured only in horsepower or lap records. It will be remembered for how it reshaped the conversation around performance itself. In the years ahead, the Fireblade SP may stand as the model that taught a new generation of American riders that speed without control is hollow, and that mastery begins with trust. It represents a cultural turning point, one where technology, artistry, and human intuition finally converge. When future historians of motorcycling look back, they may see the 2024 Fireblade SP as the first truly modern superbike. Its influence is already visible in the way riders talk about their connection to machines, and in how manufacturers approach design. Instead of creating motorcycles that simply impress, they are now creating motorcycles that communicate. That shift in mindset, initiated by the Fireblade SP, could define an entire decade of innovation. The long-term impact will extend beyond the racetrack. The Fireblade SP's principles, stability, feedback, and predictability, are beginning to influence everyday models and even electric motorcycles in development. As sustainability becomes a growing concern, the lessons learned from the 2024 Fireblade SP's aerodynamic efficiency and lightweight construction could inform the next generation of performance bikes designed for cleaner energy. It may be remembered as the bridge between the era of combustion dominance and a more intelligent, sustainable age of speed. The Fireblade SP 2024 also reinforces Honda's identity as a company that builds machines for people, not statistics. It is a reminder that innovation only matters when it improves the human experience. This motorcycle does not try to overwhelm the rider with features, it tries to enhance what the rider already brings to the road. That human-centered engineering philosophy will likely shape how Honda approaches all its performance products in the future. In the American market, the Fireblade SP's legacy will also include the community it has fostered. Riders who once dismissed high-tech superbikes as too sterile are finding something deeply personal in this machine. It demands commitment but gives back tenfold in confidence and clarity. It turns mechanical precision into something emotional, almost meditative. Those who ride it often describe not excitement but focus, a state of awareness where machine and rider are inseparable. That feeling may become the new aspiration for performance enthusiasts. And while many superbikes fade into the background after their initial release, the Honda CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 has the potential to age like a landmark. Years from now, it may be viewed the way collectors regard legendary analog machines of the past, an icon of its era, representing the exact moment when technology reached harmony with human skill. The combination of race-grade components, aerodynamic refinement, and intuitive electronics has created a machine that transcends trends. Ultimately, the Fireblade SP is not about domination, it is about evolution. It challenges the notion that progress must come at the cost of soul. It shows that the future of performance can be intelligent, measured, and deeply emotional all at once. Riders who experience it often leave with a renewed respect for what engineering can achieve when guided by purpose rather than pride. So when we think about what comes next for superbikes in America, it is safe to say that the Honda CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP 2024 has already set the benchmark. It has proven that the most advanced machines do not need to shout to be heard, they just need to connect. Its story is not about rebellion or spectacle but about refinement, a quiet revolution that will continue to ripple through the motorcycle world for years to come. In the end, the Fireblade SP 2024 is more than a superbike. It is a philosophy on two wheels. It asks riders to think, to feel, to engage, and to evolve. That is its true legacy, a legacy that redefines speed not as the act of going faster, but as the pursuit of becoming better.